Hi, my name is Mr. Sharp Game, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about some of the best places to meet women, and I'm gonna also tell you my experiences in these places as well. And if you're living in America, the United States of America, and you don't have a passport, you need to get a step your game up and get a passport, and you need to travel and date the world. Because today we're in a time where it's never been as easy to meet nines and tens, dimes. Today is more easier than ever. So especially if you're in the 20s and you don't have any restrictions, you're not married, you don't have any kids, you can move around and go places on the weekends or take vacations whenever you have free time. And you gotta step your passport game up, man. This today there's no excuses for why you can't meet the woman that you really want to meet. I mean, if you live in America, you don't have to put up with the riffraff or put up with any nonsense and waste your time with mediocre or just average basic bitches. So you don't really have to put up with that. I mean, today, you can go to Canada, you can go to South America, you can go to down under Australia, you can go to Asia, you can go anywhere in the world and meet women. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I lived in Japan for over 4 years, and I've traveled the world twice. So I'm talking from experience, not somebody that knew somebody that lived in a lot of these places. I'm talking from experience because I've been there, I lived it, and I've met a lot of these women over the years, over the past 20 years to be exact. So one of the best places you could go to, especially if let's say if you're non-white or if you're a black male or Latino, one of the best places in America is San Diego, man. San Diego is probably one of the best kept secret places in America. If you're a young guy, just trying to make something happen, and maybe you want to check out the West Coast flavor, see what's going on over there. San Diego is very slept on because I think it's because a lot of people focus on LA, and LA get most of the attention because it's Hollywood. LA, we got Hollywood and everything, so people tend to focus on LA. But San Diego, man, you can go there and you can take over some shit. Females over there, they choose pretty hard. If you present yourself in the right kind of way. Well, San Diego, man, hands down, it's like a very slept on place. And another place you should look into is St. Paul, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities. Up there, man, it get cold as shit. But outside of that, it's a pretty cool environment. If you can get past the cold weather, because it get below zero during the winters, and when it snows, they don't know when it's gonna stop. So, but besides that, man, you got a lot of interracial relationships, a lot of mixed women, a lot of a lot of exotic looking women, a lot of white women. And you can go out there, man. You can really have a good time. It's a pretty much a liberal environment. It kind of reminds me of Seattle in a sense. St. Paul and Minneapolis kind of remind me of Seattle. Seattle just don't get as cold, you know. And speaking of Seattle, Seattle is another place in America that I think is pretty cool. It's I've heard one of my friends call Seattle the mixed capital of the United States because there's a lot of mixed couples, uh, lot of mixed women, a lot of exotic looking women. So a lot of people in Seattle it rains a lot, but it's not. It's kind of over exaggerated, you know. So Seattle's a place where you can do your thing up there. A lot of women they choose hard in Seattle as well. They don't choose as hard in Minneapolis or St. Paul, but in Seattle, something about that West Coast. Women tend to choose very hard. They get a little aggressive on guys, So that's if you present yourself right, pull out your flair, put on your nice gear, you can make something happen out there. And another place that I really like is Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the best places, man, where it's tropical. The women are very beautiful, exotic. They don't they're not as they got that island flavor, so they're not too Americanized as much as you would think. And they eat better, because the food is better over there. And they don't see a lot of people that come from the mainland and go over there very much, unless you go to Honolulu or something like that. But if you go to the smaller islands, that's where you get to meet the people that's really from the island, and that's where you can step your game up and do your thing. Another place I like is I like the Philippines. The Philippines, man. I mean, if you can get past they don't have a lot of technology like the first world countries, because the Philippines is a third world country, so they don't. If you can get past the advancement of technology like we have in the United States, you can make some shit happen for cheap, and the money's long in the Philippines. The American dollar, fiat. So the women are very beautiful, and they choose hard. They don't really give you a hard time. If you spit your game right, you shouldn't have any problem. And the weather's year round, warm year round, very hot, sometimes humid. And that's the thing I like about the Philippines and Hawaii. It stays warm year round, so you don't have to worry about that snow and shit. So, and then Tokyo, Japan. Yeah, Japan is like, man. First part, I had a ball. I had the time of my life when I was in Japan. I almost cried because it's just Japan is like the way they treat black males in Tokyo in Japan is the same way is the same treatment that white guys get in America. So it's like everything is kind of like in reverse when you go to a lot of these other countries if you're a black male. And I would highly recommend every black male go to Japan at least once. And I know it's going to take it's a long flight, but it's a nice place to take a vacation for at least once in your life if you can make time. But you only need a week. 7 days is good. So I highly recommend everybody, especially if you're a black male, go to Japan at least once. And then after that, you got Australia. So you got Sydney, Australia, and you got Perth. But I like Perth much better. Sydney's very too much tourism for me. I like Perth much better. Perth is a much more conservative city where you can go and be on a down low, and it's very expensive there. Much more expensive than Sydney. But you can definitely go there. Women are very beautiful, very exotic, beautiful bodies. Australian women come in all shapes, sizes, and shape and flavors. So these are just some of the places that I highly recommend, man. And then you got Mexico. You can just go to like Cancun, places like that in Mexico, and the towns outside of Cancun, like Playa del Carmen, places like that just outside of Cancun. That you can really make some shit happen out there, and the money's long, So these are just some places that I highly recommend. Some of the best places that you can, spit your game to women, because you don't have to settle for the riffraff in America. If things aren't going your way, sometimes you gotta move, man. So, because you gotta look out for yourself, and sometimes the old doctrine that you probably tried to follow with your parents that was passed down to you, maybe that didn't work. Maybe that's not working for you. So sometimes you gotta do something different, because if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same results. So I can go on and on, but this video is getting a little too long, so I'm gonna cut it short. So if you like what you heard in this video, go check out my blog at chooseyourrelationships.com, and I post a lot of content on there weekly. So go to chooseyourrelationship.com and opt into my newsletter. That way you get more of what you listening to in this video. So until next time, my name is Mr. Sharp Game. Peace and love.